Welcome back, Raider Nation. Before we get into the video, I first want to say thank you guys so much for the recent support. We're a small channel trying to grow and share our passion with as many of you guys out there as possible. So if you do happen to enjoy our content, please like the video, leave a comment down below, share it with your friends, and subscribe to this page. Let's get into it.
The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea. With a rollicking song, he sweeps along, swaggering boisterously. His face is weather-beaten. He wears a hooded sash, with a silver hat about his head, and a bristling black mustache. He growls as he storms the country, a villain big and bold. And the trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
What's up, Raider Nation? We got Mock Draft Monday, and today we're going to be analyzing Daniel Jeremiah's Mock Draft 3.0. So jumping right into it, wasting no time. Number 1, Chicago Bears. They're obviously selecting Caleb Williams out of USC. That pick is set in stone. No analysis here. Moving on to number 2.
Number 2, Commanders take Drake May. They pass on Jaden Daniels because rumors have surfaced that Jaden Daniels was not impressed with the Commanders and is not very interested in them anymore. So the Commanders take the guy that would want to play for them, and they take Drake May at number 2.
Yeah. Moving on to number 3, New England Patriots. I think this is where the draft really starts. You know, the Patriots have been rumored to trade out of number 3 or stay pat at number 3, maybe take JJ McCarthy. But in this mock draft, Jeremiah has him taking Jaden Daniels out of LSU, Heisman Trophy winner, mobile, dual threat, and has a rocket arm. So they get, in my opinion, the second best quarterback in this NFL draft and an absolute gamer at the quarterback position.
Yeah, number 4 right here. He had the Minnesota Vikings trading up with the Arizona Cardinals and likely giving away a lot to trade up to number 4 and taking JJ McCarthy, quarterback out of Michigan, had one of the best pro days that anyone has seen in a long time. And Minnesota finally gets their guy. Kevin O'Connell gets his quarterback, and they'll be able to do something with it.
Yeah. So with that, the first 4 picks are all quarterbacks: Caleb, Drake, Jaden, and JJ. And that leaves us with number 5 with the Chargers, who I think would just grab Marvin Harrison. But Jeremiah, interestingly, has them trading out of this spot to the New York Jets, who grab Marvin Harrison Jr., which, to be honest, this is the first real pick in this draft that I really disagree with, because the Jets, they have Garrett Wilson. They just signed Mike Williams too, so they don't really have a hole at receiver. So this is a pretty shocking pick by the New York Jets. If they're going to trade up, I would say they'll trade up for an offensive lineman. And if you're the Chargers, why not just take Marvin Harrison, who's the best receiver prospect since Calvin Johnson? So this is pretty bizarre, in my opinion, that Jeremiah has them trading out and the Jets trading up for Marvin Harrison. But, they get the best receiver prospect, like I mentioned, since Calvin Johnson. He can do it all. He's got speed, he's got size, he's got jump ball ability. So, he's a stud.
Yeah, number 6, we got the Giants taking the second best prospect that we've seen in a long time, Malik Neighbors out of LSU, and teammate of Jaden Daniels, of course, getting Danny Dimes, a receiver Danny Dimes is going to be the QB this year, whether Giants fans like it or not. But it would make sense to take a tackle here, I think, and protect Daniel Jones, who has a poor injury history and just coming off a torn ACL against the Raiders last year in week 9. It's uncertain if he's going to be ready to go by the time the season starts, as that was in, late November. But yeah, Malik Neighbors, wide receiver 1, and they'll have a solid guy to throw to.
Yeah, number 7, that leaves us with the Tennessee Titans, who, they have some O-line troubles right now. So with the Giants passing on Joe Alt, I think they run to the podium and go and select the offensive tackle out of Notre Dame. He's a massive tackle. He's 6'8". I would comp him to Colton Miller, who's also another mammoth offensive tackle. He can do it all. He can pass protect, run block. So he's the total package out of Notre Dame. We've seen Notre Dame tackles like Mike McGlinchey not work out for the Niners in the past, but I think Joe Alt is different. I think this is one of the best tackle prospects we've seen in a very long time. So the Titans, get a stud at number 7 with the Giants passing on him.
Yeah, number 8, we got Dallas Turner going to the Falcons. We've had this in the last mock draft, and we've seen this countlessly in all the mock drafts that have been coming out. Dallas Turner gives the Falcons the edge rusher they need. They're really struggling on that defensive line, and that gives them some Alabama star power, to go along with whoever they have on the interior. No one cares about the Falcons, but anyways, next pick.
Yeah, next pick, number 9, Chicago Bears. I think this is another no-brainer pick. If you're Ryan Poles, you run to the podium and select Rome Odunze, who I think in other draft classes would be the number one receiver prospect. But, since we have guys, historic prospects like Marvin Harrison and Malik Neighbors, I think Rome Odunze falls a little bit. But I think he's a star. Like, I think his ceiling is a Devontae Adams level player. And, with the Bears, obviously they have Keenan Allen, who's another route runner, but he's getting up there in age. He's on the other side of 30, so he's going to lose a step eventually. So the draft is always about replacing and replenishing talent. So once Keenan Allen steps out the door in, a year or a few years, you have Roma Dunze to slide in and take his place at that number one receiver position. So Roma Dunze, another stud. Chicago Bears get him and get a weapon for Caleb Williams.
Yeah, number 10. So from the Chargers trade with the Jets, they move down to number 10 and they get a franchise tackle in Taliese Huaga out of the Oregon State University, the other OSU, but a mountain of a man. And 6'5", 324 will really protect that side for Justin Herbert's blind side. And I think this is definitely a pick they needed. They do need a receiver, I would say, and I would agree with other mocks having them stick at 5 and taking Malik Neighbors or even Marvin Harrison if he fell. But I don't think Chargers will be taking a tackle just because of the fact that both their starting receivers are gone now, and Jalen Guyton is probably their number one receiver. So definitely need a receiver here, but Taliese Fuaga for the Chargers at number 10.
Yeah, so that leaves us with number 11, the Arizona Cardinals. As you mentioned, they traded out of number 4. So at 11, Jeremiah has them selecting Jared Verse. Verse was highly touted last year, but he decided to play another year of college football. But again, this is another pick that I would disagree with personally because as a UCLA student, I've seen firsthand what Laiatu Latu has done, and I think he's the best pass rusher in this draft. He has all the hand usage, he has power, speed. He's whatever you want in an edge rusher. And for him to be passed up at number 8, I think is shocking. And even at 11, I think is pretty shocking as well. So Jared Verse, he's a star. I wouldn't consider him, he's no bad pick here. But I think with Laiatu Latu on the board, I think you would have to pick him if you're the Cardinals. But Verse is pretty solid. I would consider him a pretty decent player, edge out of Florida State. So yeah, they get their edge defender in Arizona.
Yeah, and of course that UCLA bias right there towards the law too, but I think where he really falls is that arm length. Being 6'4", 260, you would think he's got a pretty big wingspan, almost a 7-foot wingspan, but he's got a really short wingspan, and I think the lack of having those long arms that really costs him, and that's going to cause him to fall in this year's draft. But moving on, number 12, this was another surprising pick, which we do not foresee happening, is Denver passing up on any quarterback and taking Brock Bowers to get another weapon for Jared Stidham. So as Denver is looking to roll Stidham according to Daniel Jeremiah, and right here they get, arguably the best blocking tight end that the NFL has seen in a long time in the first round, especially I think the last one was TJ Hawkinson, who is an extremely good pass catcher and deep route runner, but can also cover the blocks when when he needs to. But this guy overall, just not the pick Denver's looking for right now. They definitely need a quarterback.
Yeah, pretty bizarre. I mean, Brock Bowers is a great player. We're not disputing that, but the need I don't think is there for the Broncos. They obviously need a quarterback. I would be surprised if they pass up on either Penix or Bo Nix in this spot, but that leaves us, and this is a Raider focused channel, so we're really going to dive in to the 13th pick, but that leaves the Raiders with Michael Penix Jr., quarterback out of Washington, who I thought should have won the Heisman last year. He put up an unbelievable display throughout the college football season. He was elite in that Texas game, throwing from multiple different arm angles. I would say he has the best arm talent of any quarterback in this draft, and we've seen it throughout his pre-draft process. He's a decent athlete. He ran 4.5, jumped 37 inches. So he didn't show his mobility at Washington a lot, but I think he has the potential to do that in the NFL, just like CJ Stroud did. He wasn't asked to do that at Ohio State. And as soon as he got to the Houston Texans, he put that dual threat ability on full display. So I think Penix, you could see a similar thing with him in a Raiders uniform. And, we have the receivers. We have Devontae Adams. We have Jacoby Myers. So we have the receivers for him on the outside. We have the offensive line and we have the defense. So that's basically all we need is a franchise quarterback. So Michael Penix, whether he's an upgrade over Aiden O'Connell is yet to be seen, but I think his ceiling is definitely higher than a guy like Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah, and Raider Nation, again, mock draft Monday, another mock draft Monday, the last mock draft Monday. As the draft is coming up this Thursday, we will be going live for that. And we're excited to, keep you guys updated with who the Raiders pick. And we're going to go into deep analysis about, why Michael Penix is hopefully going to be the guy at 13. Because historically, as we've noted time and time again, we have suffered drafting tackles and corners in the first round. I know there's a lot of you in the comments who think that the Raiders should take a corner or a tackle in the first round, but we have struggled over the years. Check out the biggest draft bust video that I made a few weeks ago, and that'll tell you everything you need to know. But yeah, thank you again for the likes, subscribes, comments. We're growing rapidly, and buckle up. Join us this season.